I get overwhelmed too, just like everybody does. And especially if you're like us and you're taking in so much news all the time, it's hard not to feel demoralized by what's going on. But the whole thing kind of reminds me of, do you know what kintsugi is? It's a Japanese art of repairing broken objects where they use gold to fix ceramic pottery or glass to make it more beautiful through repair, right? So kintsugi is a repair technique, but it's also a philosophy, right? That encourages us to embrace our imperfections, right? It's this process that highlights the cracks and the repairs that were made. And it celebrates the history of the object to find beauty in healing and renewal. And I have a kintsugi bowl and I love it because it reminds me of like something can be broken and fixed again and be more beautiful. And I think we can do that to America, but it takes work and effort and, putting in the gold to hold things together again. And I think that's what we are. I think of it all the time as a metaphor for where we're at right now. I'm like, whoa, just try and be the gold, like try and pull things back together again. Because I believe we can repair it, but I think it's going to take real effort on our parts.
I think that's right. And, I do talk about in the book how I'm more of an incrementalist than an accelerationist. Accelerationists often favor totally destroying a system to then, quote, rebuild it from the ground up the way they would want it. And this often gets people to oppose advances because they're not perfect. The late Senator Ted Kennedy was excellent at explaining how historically we've made the biggest advances on the political left through incrementalism. And I talk about in the book the progressive era, 1890 to 1920 or so, the New Deal era, and the Civil Rights era. At the time, it felt like slow progress. Looking back, we now realize these 10 to 30-year periods, so much progress was made. But importantly, a lot of the stuff, for example, around the New Deal was because of who got to appoint Supreme Court justices 10, 15, 18 years before the big accomplishment gets signed into law. Progressive era, including women ultimately getting the right to vote, civil rights era, it's the same. And the risk of doing the accelerationism is sometimes when you break the whole thing down, you think it'll be rebuilt by the people you want rebuilding it in the way that you want it rebuilt. But those power vacuums often lead to even worse people with even worse ideas actually getting to do the rebuilding. So for me, the proof is in the incrementalism of those three eras that I talk about.